The key to success and peace of mind is to focus on the aspects of life that we can control, while humbly accepting what is beyond our power. Act decisively when a situation calls for action, but wisely step back, allowing events to unfold naturally. Delay does not mean impossibility. Perhaps you are not yet ready, or the circumstances are not yet ripe. Trust that everything will happen on its own, in its own time, easily and effortlessly. Understanding divine timing implies complete acceptance of the present moment. Many miss the joy of today by fixating on an indefinite when. I will be happy when. We often hear postponing happiness for later. But happiness is not a deferred reward. Every stage of life is beautiful in its own way, and gratitude for the present attracts new blessings. Remember the times when everything worked out unexpectedly well. Chance encounters, lucky opportunities, unexpected help. These miracles are vivid confirmations of the existence of divine timing. Your desires are heard, you are remembered, and everything is happening in the best possible order, even if it is not immediately obvious. The path to peace of mind and success lies in the ability to distinguish between what is controllable and what is beyond our influence. Act decisively when the situation calls for active action, but wisely retreat, trusting the natural course of events. Delay is not a sentence. Perhaps you are simply not yet ready, or the circumstances are not yet ripe for change. Believe that everything will happen in its own time, easily and effortlessly, as if by magic. Understanding divine timing means fully accepting the present moment. Many people deprive themselves of the joy of today by focusing on an uncertain future. How many times have we heard, "I will be happy when"? Happiness is not a reward to be earned in the future, but a state available here and now. Every stage of life is beautiful in its own way, and gratitude for the present is a magnet that attracts new blessings. Remember the moments when everything worked out successfully, as if by itself. Chance encounters, unexpected opportunities, help that came from where you least expected it. These miracles are clear evidence of the existence of divine order. Your desires are heard, you are remembered, and everything is happening in the best way, even if it is not immediately obvious. And now, music unobtrusively underscores this thought. There comes a moment when you need to let go of the situation, free yourself from the burden of worries, from the tension caused by aspirations and fear of the unknown. You have struggled, searched, and tried for a long time. But what if the true path has already been laid? What if your blessings are not in the hard struggle, but in boundless faith? It is time to accept one important truth. You no longer need to force events to happen, because higher powers have taken the reins. You have lived a significant part of your life believing that suffering, effort, and proof of your own worth are necessary to achieve success. But what if this is just a delusion? What if it is your persistent striving that prevents you from getting what you want? To be continued, there is a time for active work and a time for humble acceptance. There is a moment when you need to boldly move forward, relying on faith, and a time when you should allow God to lead you. But it is impossible to combine these states. You cannot simultaneously pray for guidance and cling to anxiety, ask for divine intervention and continue to fight alone. You need to choose which burden to bear. Worry, stress, fear. This is not your lot. This is a burden imposed by a world that does not understand divine providence. We are taught that without hard work there is no success, that without fighting for what you want, you will not get anything, that without controlling every detail, life will collapse. But the truth is that this is not the case. God does not require proof of your worth. He calls for trust. He does not want your exhaustion. He calls for rest in his promises. Your struggle is not a sign of the need to make more effort, but a signal that it is time to let go. To let go is not to give up, not to stop acting, but to stop straining, to stop exhausting yourself, and to stop measuring your worth by the amount of effort expended. There is a difference between purposeful actions and desperate struggle. In agreement with God's plan, actions inspire, bring ease and joy. In the struggle, they exhaust, disappoint, and generate doubts. Higher powers did not conceive of your life as a continuous marathon of stress, did not doom you to eternal anxiety about earnings, future prospects, or life stages. Your purpose is to feel divine abundance, love, and mercy, but for this you need to free yourself from other people's problems, from the burden of responsibility that does not belong to you. Look closely at the world around you. Birds do not worry about tomorrow. Trees are not tormented by doubts about rain. Nature trusts the natural flow of life, but you, against all odds, believe you must control everything. You are created in God's image, a part of the divine plan, not a machine working to exhaustion to prove your worth. Release the struggle, and you will discover wonders. Stop chasing what you desire, and it will find you. For success depends not on your efforts, but on your inner energy. A state of struggle emits signals of lack, fear, and resistance, while trust attracts blessings. Struggle is a dead end. Faith is liberation. How do you find this liberation? Start with a change of mindset. Instead of the morning anxiety about tasks, remind yourself of God's support. Instead of searching for solutions, take a deep breath and have faith in a favorable outcome. Instead of fighting for what is yours, recognize that what is meant for you cannot be taken away. You do not need all the answers. You do not need to control everything. Just have faith in divine guidance. Immersed in this trust, you will notice amazing changes. Opportunities previously difficult to access will open up on their own, relationships will form naturally, and blessings will flow freely. This is not magic, but faith in action, a law of the universe. Free from struggle, you will enter the life destined for you from above. Are you ready to relinquish the burden of responsibility? Are you ready to believe that you are not alone in this world, that God has already paved your way? This step will change your life forever. The divine plan unfolds regardless of your doubts and feelings. Even if you feel lost or unsure, know that God is guiding you. It is easy to succumb to the illusion that everything depends on your knowledge, plans, and efforts, but the truth is that God already knows the way. He is already ready. Your task is to trust, not to fight. Remember the moments when everything worked out unexpectedly well, when your worries proved unfounded. This is not a coincidence, but God's intervention. And yet we doubt, control, and try to anticipate everything. But what if you completely let go of the situation? What if you unconditionally believe in God's guidance? Confidence in God's providence grants freedom from the need to control every step. The burden of uncertainty disappears because you understand that higher powers are paving the way, arranging the details, and directing events. Your task is to be open, attentive to the signs, and follow the call. However, trust is not an easy gift. Our world craves clarity, demands proof, and seeks to see the entire plan before taking action. But faith is not that. Faith is a step forward, even in the dark, the confidence that God is working, even in the silence of waiting. Faith is knowing that delay does not mean inaction. Remember the seed in the ground. Weeks pass without visible changes, but underground, roots develop powerfully, laying the foundation for future growth. So it is in life. The absence of visible progress does not mean its absence. God works in hidden depths, arranging everything for the best. Attempts to speed up the process interfere with the divine plan. The desire to control everything closes off great opportunities. Trust opens the way to easy guidance, to the perception of miracles, to moving along God's current naturally without tension, struggle, and fear. From childhood, you were taught that the key to success lies in tireless work, in constant striving for more, in an endless race. The thought was hammered in that the more effort you put in, the higher your value. But what if the path to success and self-realization lies not in exhausting struggle, but in finding inner balance? Fussiness is the belief that you must force everything. It is the false feeling that not working hard enough, self-sacrifice, chasing every opportunity guarantees failure. Therefore, you struggle, exhaust yourself, trying to force events to go according to your plan, but you feel depleted, realizing that no matter how hard you try, it will never be enough. Because fussiness without inner balance leads to burnout, not success. Alignment is harmony with the flow of life, tuning into your intuition, listening to your inner voice, and trusting the natural course of events. In a state of balance, your actions inspire, not exhaust. You act clearly, not in confusion. Opportunities arise on their own, without intense pursuit. This does not mean inaction, rejection of activity. These are actions based on trust, not fear, guided by purpose, not pressure, consistent with the natural rhythm of life. Remember the moments in your life when everything went smoothly. Opportunities appeared on time, conversations led to breakthroughs. Everything fell into place perfectly. This was not the result of exhausting struggle, but of being in the right energy flow, in the right place and at the right time, with the right attitude. So how do you move from turmoil to such a harmonious state? First of all, you need to abandon the belief that success is synonymous with struggle. It's time to dispel the myth of a direct proportionality between effort and outcome. Yes, hard work is important, but it's not the only factor. Energy, mindset, and inner balance play an equal, if not greater, role. Start noticing the moments when your actions are dictated by fear, not faith. Are you trying your hardest because you're afraid of failure? Are you rushing because you don't believe that what you desire will come on its own? Awareness is the first step toward change. Next, learn to listen. In the hustle and bustle of everyday life, your inner voice is often drowned out. Occupied with tasks, you forget to simply be. And inner balance requires silence, attentive listening to intuition, the ability to recognize signs, and openness to guidance. Set aside time for quiet moments, prayer, meditation, or simply contemplating the silence. Ask for clarity and believe that the answers will come. And finally, move from actions based on compulsion to inspired actions. In a state of harmony, your actions become natural, bringing joy and satisfaction. You no longer feel like a slave to circumstances. Instead of constantly chasing something, you begin to attract what you desire. Inspired actions are steps based on inner guidance, not desperation. They are pleasant, right? And lead to better results with minimal energy expenditure. A central aspect of achieving harmony is unconditional trust. Trust that what is meant for you will surely find you, that opportunities will appear on your path, that the right people, events, and circumstances will come together in the best way at the right time. This trust frees you from exhausting hustle and anxiety, filling you with confidence in divine protection. Instead of chasing quantity, alignment focuses on quality. Hustle is the desire to do as much as possible, as quickly as possible. Alignment, on the other hand, is focusing on truly important tasks, on priorities that bring maximum benefit, and not just the illusion of busyness. Ask yourself, are my actions bringing me closer to my goal, or are they just distractions disguised as productivity? Success should not be an exhausting ordeal. The universe does not set impossible tasks for you. It leads to a life full of ease, harmony, and abundance if you are willing to trust this flow. Therefore, today, decide to abandon the endless race and choose the path of alignment, to start living in harmony with life, not against it. Allow yourself to be led without trying to control every step, and watch as everything begins to improve. Not through struggle, but because you have finally allowed yourself to receive the blessings of life. Your words are a powerful tool. What you say, you attract into your life. What you affirm, you begin to manifest in reality. However, many speak from a position of lack, doubt, and fear. I hope I will be successful someday. I would like to be happy. Maybe everything will be all right. With these words, they unconsciously distance their desires. Changing language, using affirmative formulations, as if the desired has already happened, is not deception, but a manifestation of faith and confidence in achieving the goal. It means focusing on the desired outcome, not on limiting fears. Saying, "I am successful," even without visible confirmation, begins to generate corresponding energy. Similarly, phrases like, "I am loved," "I am worthy," "I am abundant," transform thinking, actions, and all of life, evoking a positive reaction from the surrounding world. After all, life is energy, and words generate vibrations that shape reality. Constant complaints about difficulties, poverty, and failures only amplify the negativity. But affirmations like, "Everything is working out for my good," "Abundance flows to me," "I easily attract opportunities," lead to change. This is not magic, but aligning the internal state with the desired, a manifestation of faith and the power of intention. A common mistake is waiting for visible results before believing in success. Faith, however, is confidence before the appearance of visible confirmations, understanding that the absence of external manifestation does not mean the impossibility of achieving the desired. An action, a question, a sincere desire launches a mechanism. The universe begins to adjust circumstances to realize the intended. The task is not to doubt, but to declare what has happened and move forward, guided by this confidence. How to overcome doubts and gain confidence. An obstacle on the path to the desired life is often fear, instilling in us insecurity in our own strengths and worth. It binds, forcing us to endlessly think and worry, keeping us in a closed circle of indecision. However, the antidote to this paralysis is faith, the key to a life filled with abundance and harmony. Faith is an unwavering knowledge that even without a visible path, it will surely be found, that we are guided, protected, and never alone. Many allow fear to control their decisions. They avoid risks, postpone dreams, settling for less than they deserve due to fear of failure, rejection, or the unknown. But fear is only as powerful as we allow it to be. Its power over us is illusory and vanishes the moment we choose faith instead of fear. To live with faith means trusting that the path is already laid out, that answers will come in their own time. It's moving forward, even when circumstances don't yet meet expectations. Faith doesn't mean waiting for perfect conditions to begin. It's acting with the confidence that perfection is created in the process. Remember a situation when it seemed everything had collapsed. Financial difficulties, a broken heart, closed doors. But contrary to expectation, everything worked out. Money appeared unexpectedly, love returned, a new, better door opened. That was faith in action, an unspoken but powerful guidance, protection, a guiding star on the path to something greater. So how do you shift from the power of fear to the strength of faith? First of all, recognize fear as an illusion, a figment of the imagination, a story you tell yourself about possible failures. Your thoughts are not absolute truth. Fear feeds on uncertainty, while faith embraces it. Replace the question, "What if I fail?" with "What if I succeed?" Instead of, "I don't know what will happen," say, "I believe everything happens for the best." Words shape your reality. Choose words of faith, not fear. Next, act, even when you doubt. Fear paralyzes, faith moves. Don't wait for the complete answer before you start. Just begin. Every step taken with faith, even the smallest, strengthens confidence, shows your strength, support, and that you are not alone on this path. Each step based on faith strengthens faith itself. Sincere gratitude is another effective tool for strengthening faith. Unlike fear, which focuses on shortcomings, faith focuses on what is already there. Daily awareness of blessings, opportunities, lessons learned, and happy coincidences reminds us of the constant care of higher powers, of overcoming past difficulties, and the ability to cope with current ones. Gratitude transforms fear into trust, changing the perspective of perception. The environment also plays a key role. The information we consume, whether it's communication with people, articles we read, or our own thoughts, shapes our worldview. Constant exposure to negativity, doubt, and fear undermines faith. In contrast, filling the mind with inspiring stories, positive affirmations, and words of support strengthens it. It is important to protect your energy, selectively communicating with people and ideas that nurture faith in a favorable outcome. Finally, you need to learn to trust. Faith is not persistently achieving a goal, but acceptance and relinquishing control. It's believing that higher powers, whether it's the universe or God, have already arranged everything. Fear breeds anxiety, a desire to control everything, while faith allows you to let go of the situation, knowing that what is meant to be will surely happen. Surrendering position is not passivity, but liberation from the unbearable burden of responsibility for everything that happens. Every significant success, beautiful love story, breakthrough in life is the result of faith's victory over fear. A decisive rejection of the power of doubt opens the way to a new reality filled with freedom, confidence, and readiness for miracles. Cast aside doubts and step towards the future with unwavering faith. Even if the path is not fully visible, know that you are being guided, and the final result is already a completed masterpiece. Proclaim your faith, think it, live it, and you will see the world around you transform. There is a time for everything in life, sowing and reaping, beginning and waiting, moving forward and resting. Life unfolds in a perfect divine rhythm, yet many are tormented by impatience, doubt, and fear that everything is happening too slowly. The truth is that everything is happening exactly as it should. By trusting in divine timing, you will free yourself from anxiety and find peace, realizing that what is meant for you will come in its own time and in the right way. Often people try to speed things up, crave instant results, want to see their desires fulfilled in an instant. They compare their path with someone else's and wonder why everything is taking so long. But divine time does not obey human impatience. If something hasn't happened yet, it doesn't mean it's not on its way. It just means the conditions are still forming. Remember nature. A seed doesn't become a tree in a day. There is a process that cannot be forced. First, the seed is planted, it takes root, develops underground before anything becomes visible. And only when the time comes will the sprout break through to the surface and bloom. Striving for sunlight, like a sprout breaking through the earth, is a gradual process. Each stage of development is necessary for maturity. So it is in life. The absence of visible progress does not mean its absence altogether. Growth often occurs subtly, internally, laying the foundation for future achievements. Serenity in divine timing liberates one from the need to force events, ceasing fruitless attempts to control every step. Trust that all unfolds for the highest good. That is the key to understanding. Even delays, setbacks, and winding paths are parts of the divine plan. A seeming delay may be a protection, a rejection, a redirection onto a better path. What appears optimal now may prove not to be the best choice in the long run. In the future, it will become clear how each period of waiting, each unexpected turn, led to something greater. Patience is not passive waiting, but a way of waiting. Waiting filled with frustration, fear, and doubt blocks blessings. Conversely, faith, peace, and hope open the way to the best possible outcome. Instead of questioning the duration of the process, believe that everything is aligning perfectly. Instead of worrying about the future, know that everything is happening as it should. Words and thoughts shape reality. Rather than succumbing to fear, it is better to align your actions with faith. The key to success is focusing on the aspects of life that are within your control, while accepting the inevitable. Act decisively when necessary, but also know when to step back, allowing events to unfold naturally. The absence of an immediate result does not mean impossibility. Perhaps you are not yet ready, or the circumstances are not yet ripe. Trust that everything will happen on its own in due time, effortlessly and gracefully. Accepting divine timing is, above all, the ability to live in the present moment. Many miss its beauty, constantly postponing happiness until later. I will be happy when I get a job, meet a loved one, achieve a goal. But happiness should not be deferred. Each stage of life is filled with its own unique gifts. Cherish the present, and you will attract even more blessings. Remember moments when everything came together unexpectedly well. Chance opportunities, unexpected meetings, seemingly insurmountable problems that resolved themselves. This is confirmation that divine providence is always watching over you. You are not forgotten. You are cared for. All your desires are known, and everything is happening for the best. All